Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, July the 21st, 2023. Friday, July 21st. You know what? Not a whole lot happened today, but let me cover the essentials. We have Adam meeting Chelsea, and Chelsea's getting definitely bigger. That table was not really hiding her baby bump, but that's okay. You know, actually, what I'm liking is soaps are trying to hide them less. You know, it used to be, oh my goodness, they had to have a huge person every scene, making sure you don't see anything or hiding behind different objects. Now look, we know the actress is pregnant. They just have her sitting down so she's not all in your face, with it because the character is not pregnant. But for the most part, it's okay. It is okay. General Hospital, Sasha Gilmore is pregnant. She had her baby, the character, the actress who plays the character. She had her baby in May, and I'm gonna tell you, they pretty much show her standing up. She just had suit jackets that kind of had the V angle, and Sasha be standing up. She may have a purse, she may not. And they did very well. We all knew the actress was pregnant. It wasn't a big deal. They didn't make her stuck sitting down. She still had activity going on, and yes, when she would, uh, some of them were closer up from waist up scenes with her standing, but oh, we had a lot of full body shots with her. And at one point, actually, she did very well with her weight gain over the pregnancy. I was wondering, oh my goodness, did she have a baby? When did she go on maternity leave? But no, she was still pregnant, looking fit and good. Okay. So anyway, um, Chelsea, I wonder when is the actress playing Chelsea. I wonder when is her baby due. Um, because she still has a little ways to go, I think. But anyway, Billy's talking to Chelsea. He bought her a first day of work gift. She was telling him she's nervous, which of course she would be. Not only is she a designer, even though I would never take the role as a designer, but she knows she has to oversee the designers. She says, and I have to inspire them. Inspiring to me is easier than having to try to come and create. Seriously. Because Summer, well, actually, we never did see her talking to designers because, those extras were not necessary on the show, but Summer by no shape or form was a designer. you know, she would just say, look, this season I want vibrant colors. Leave it up to the designers to come up with it. But let's have some flowy pieces. So with Chelsea, being a designer, she's gonna bring an excellent uplift to the entire line because she can inspire the designers to reach higher heights. She really can, because none of them were on the Chelsea Larson level. So it's a good fit for me, to her and Summer. And then in the end, Summer ended up coming in after confronting Audra. I'll get back to that later, the Audra part. But Summer comes in and they were having a meeting at the coffee house. Billy left and she goes, Chelsea, I just wanted to meet here first before we go to the office and before we, I introduce you to your staff in the various departments. And she says, we're going to tailor make this whole experience of us working together, tailor make it for us. And then she even reminisced. I remember years ago when I used to model for you, your line with Finmore's and Jabot. So now the tables are turned. Now Chelsea works for Summer. And so Chelsea says, yeah, that was a long time ago. And so, but she could see, because Summer said, oh, and you know what? Once a week, Kyle and I used to have strategy meeting. Well, you know what? We'll see. She stops and she goes, we'll see what's best for us. Because she's realizing, ooh, I just said Kyle, what we used to do, right? So Chelsea said, Summer, you know what? And I hope I'm not overstepping because now I do work for you. But I want you to know You can talk to me at any time. Consider me a safe space. You know, I've been through divorce multiple times. You know that. I've gone through some life struggles. I would never judge you. This is a no judgment zone. So I just want you to know that. And Summer's like, well, I don't know. Anyway, let me tell you, Kyle is not, she just unloaded the whole thing. Kyle's not forgiving her. She never thought it would go this way. Kyle's figure is taking it that she intentionally did what she did against him. She says, when no, it was to protect my mother. It wasn't I'm doing this against Kyle. I'm trying to protect my mother. I mean, and she says, and you know what, honestly, Chelsea, if I have to think about doing it all over again, what I wouldn't, she says, I don't know. She said, because she's thinking, because yeah, I still would help my mother, right? Because guess what, everybody? Kyle proved it over and over again. He would help his mother. Absolutely. That's my mother. So Chelsea says, look, I have a mother with a very colorful dynamic as well. So I can sympathize with sometimes having to make choices, you know, be for our mothers. I sympathize. And so Chelsea, what she ultimately said is, she says, Summer, she goes, but we have Harrison, we have a child together, blah, 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 and how he's just gonna, not even give our family a chance when it was supposed to be all he wanted. And so Chelsea says, look, there's one thing I've learned, and I've learned this the hard way. She says, you may not want to hear this, but if someone says it's over, no matter how we feel about it, we really can't make them change their mind. She says, the only thing we can do is handle how we handle it and how we move forward. But sometimes we have to take people at their word. But guess what? He could be saying something now and meaning something later. But it takes time for people to know how they're going to handle a situation. So she goes, my best advice to you is you move forward with your life. Like, don't lose sight of your dreams. Because she goes, yeah, this Marquetti, Kyle and I started it together. So I'm really trying to get my bearings as CEO. And so Chelsea said, well, and you know what? I'll be trying to get my bearings too. So they're like, we'll be trying to get the bearings together. Okay. Which is good. I like that attitude. We'll get our bearings down together. And they're going to have a good dynamic. And Chelsea brought up, because she had some great ideas she was telling Billy, but she was telling Billy, you know what? That home and health, home and heart idea, she says it never took off. She said, I would really like to see something to be done with that. There's a lot of potential there. And he goes, you've got some good ideas, Chelsea. You're gonna knock it out of the park. And in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, now who could she swallow it enough to, you notice we haven't seen Sally in eons. Nick act like she don't exist. She could barely sneeze, and he was there with the Kleenex wiping her nose, right? Sally who? So are we done with Sally on The Young and the Restless? Are they ready to take her back to The Bold and the Beautiful? Because if they are, I could tell you what's going to happen. Chelsea's going to hire Chloe to come and handle that division of home and whatever, the interior design division. It is too bad that Phyllis burned the bridges at Jabot, because honestly, Phyllis was the best at that job. That little division was thriving, right? Phyllis had some great ideas. As a matter of fact, remember she wanted to do a makeover on the Abbott home, and I was like, yes, it needs it badly. Museum Abbott needs to go, right? So anyway, we'll see. That was really nice. I really liked the dynamics in that scene. So now we have who else? That was Chelsea and Billy talk. Um, we have Adam, Nick, and Sharon meeting at the Jazz Lounge. Let's see. I think I have a picture of that. And they're having their first little executive meeting. And Adam's like, yeah, I'm in, you know. And we got Nick and Sharon sitting on the same side. I'm thinking, are we pushing those two together? They need to just be business colleagues. You know, we've been there, done that a million times. But they had a good meeting, and Victor's texting him saying, I need your answer now, right? So the three of them decide to go to the ranch, and Victor was surprised that the three showed up. First it was Sharon and Nick, and then Adam. He goes, Adam came in right after them. And he goes, Adam. So they end up, you know, reaffirming their commitment. And Adam says, yeah, Sharon and Nick had some good points. You know, I don't like the way that once again things were snatched out from under me in typical your fashion. But I do believe the three of us can make this company, turn this company around. Because Adam is kind of talking a little negative, and Victor says, well, that's not what I want to hear. And Adam says, well, it's the truth. He says, it's the truth. He says, you're going to have us do all this hard work, and then ultimately, you're going to fold everything up under Victoria, Dad, right? And so he goes, and that is non-negotiable. That is non-negotiable, you know? And I was like, yeah, whatever, I know, fine, right? And so Sharon and Nick are kind of looking at him like, hey, don't go off a deep end here. And he didn't. He kept himself reined in. And so Adam says, you know what? Before I give my answer, he said, I need something from you. And Victor said, and Nick looks at Adam, Sharon looks at Adam like, wait, what? And Victor says, what is it, my boy? I want 6 months of autonomy. We get to turn the company around the way we see fit, these two companies. We get to get in and work our magic without you dictating every decision we make. And so Sharon looked and Nick looked and Nick looked at his father. He goes, that seems fair to me, Dad. And Sharon says, yeah, it does. It gives us time to really take two failing companies, get in, analyze, and implement some positive changes. So Victor looked, he goes, I'll give you 3 months, 3 to make a difference, to show intent. See, because 6 months, Adam could do way too much damage. In 3 months, Victor would be able to evaluate, is Adam already starting some stuff? And you want to know what's good about that, everybody? 3 months, it gives Victor a chance to evaluate, is Victoria starting stuff, right? Because see, she will. And then Victor will have to come in and, well, Daddy, are you angry with me, Daddy? No, right? Gives them both opportunity to show intent. Victoria, keep your nose out of Augustus over there. You stick with Newman. You do you. And so Adam says, and one other thing, you're determined to fold Augustus under the Newman umbrella. And that's what he goes, and that is non-negotiable. He goes, fine, Dad. But why don't you, once we've brought the companies up, fold Newman Media into Augustus? And Sharon and Nick perked up. And he says, well, Sharon says, now that's a good idea. Because, see, in essence, really, Augustus and Newman Media are in competition with each other. Why would you want that internally? You would want a strength of unity. And so Nick says, I agree, right? And so Victor says, yeah, but Victoria already has her team in play. Audra Childs is over Newman Media, and Victoria is particular about her staff. And so Adam says, wait a minute. He says, Dad, you're always talking about family. You know, Newman is all about family. It's a family company, family unity. He says, Audra Childs is not family. He says, and let's be real. Let's not forget, Audra Childs was brought in by Tucker McCall to infiltrate Chancellor Winters. Audra Childs cannot be trusted. And so Adam said, so if anyone, plus he almost said, he should have said, and Audra Childs doesn't hold an ounce of business experience compared to me or Sharon or Nicholas. Who is Audra? This is her first CEO. You know, Adam could have really went deep. This is her first CEO job, and it was handed to her because Victoria brought Nate up to push Nick out. And so Nick looked, and Adam said, we are Newmans. Because Sharon, look, is she still going by? Did she switch back to Newman? Because she was with, Newman to Rosales. Is she back to Newman? I don't know, right? And so he goes, we are Newmans. And we should hold the top positions. Victor is so adamant on stuff like that, right? And so Victor just sat back and he didn't say anything because that was a trump card. But that needs to be a secret trump card. And what's good is Audra, with her messiness, she's going to be messy here too, right? She is. And then Victor's going to find out she's sleeping with Kyle. Yes, they know she hired him, but oh, wait, you're breaking up my granddaughter's family? Oh, because Nate said, if anybody's expendable, Adam said that. If anybody's expendable, it's definitely Audra Childs. No discussion about it. I mean, please, non-issue, right? So now let's get to Summer. Summer's getting ready to walk out to go to work. She sees Audra signing her check in the dining room at the table. We got to, look, give me a table by the door so I can see everybody coming in. They can see me. She couldn't help herself. She had to go over to Audra. And she's pretty much saying, the kind of person you are, I don't know. Did you sleep with my husband before you even know I moved out? You're this, you're that, whatever. And she goes, Audra's like, you make it like Kyle can't make a decision on his own. He can. And so Summer said, well, the way you're talking, see, Kyle works for you, and you and Kyle, Summer says, no, it sounds like you're the one trying to make all the decisions for Kyle. And so Audra says, telling her about, what, your messy marriage, whatever happened in your marriage, she goes, That had nothing to do with me. Nothing. She goes, you want to be angry at me, point this at me? She goes, that's Kyle. Whatever went on between you two, and Audra was right, that went on between you two. And so Summer says, oh, don't get me wrong. I am angry with Kyle because we share a child together. And Audra leaned back. She goes, and I definitely am not trying to get in the middle of that little family dynamic. Like, ooh, kids, a child. Ooh, you don't have to worry about me trying to play mommy. And so Summer said, you went after Kyle for his money. And Audra said, I have money of my own. Kyle's being an abbot has nothing to do with it. And Summer was off her game a bit because Summer could have snapped back and she should have said, oh, I'm sorry. Are you considering a salary? Your salary? Maybe your new CEO salary that you've had not even a month? Are you considering that? You have money? Oh, baby girl, listen. I have money. I'm a Newman. I've had money from the day I was born, Audra. See, when I talk about money, I'm talking about inherited money. Whether we work a day in our life, we have money. If you get fired from your job today, how long is your savings account from your job going to last you, Audra? That's what she should have said. Boom. Bam. Okay. Trump down, girl. Trump down. You were with Tucker McCall for what that man could give you. Money. See, no, don't play that, Audra. Money. You looked at Nate, even though you knew Nate wasn't wealthy, but you still looked at Nate as in part of that Winters family owning that company. That's how you looked at him. Okay. So anyway, Kyle comes walking up and he looks and he goes, is everything okay here? And he's standing closer to Audra. And Audra says, fine. Summer says, yeah. Audra and I were just having a friendly little conversation. And she leaned her hands on the table and she leaned her body down towards Audra. She said, by the way, you need to change your perfume because it is too strong and it smells cheap. She says, Kyle here could probably get you something expensive and nice from Jabot. And she stands up and she turns and she walks away. Right? And I thought, okay, we need to see Phyllis Jr. coming back, clapping back at him, right? Let's get Audra. She may have run circles around my broody brother Noah. Audra's here. Audra. Mm-mm. Nope. So anyway, Kyle sits down and Audra's talking to him. Summer's obviously still in love with you. Are you sure this isn't just a rebound? You sure you're not going to get back with her? You see, she's trying to shore up her position under the guise of, it's too soon for you to be making decisions, Kyle. She knows she don't mean that. Kyle's like, no, there's no chance for me and Summer. It's over. So Audra's like, well, okay. But the funny thing is, when Kyle is alone and you look into Kyle's eyes, Kyle is very sad and Kyle is very upset. Very. Because Summer and Kyle have been going back and forth since they were teenagers, right? And for quite a while, Kyle was more just enamored by Summer than she was by him. You know, and it's by the time she would stop taking him for granted and looking at him, he's now either left town or looking elsewhere. They were back and forth, the two of them. So this won't last long. As a matter of fact, my projection, everybody, I think this little separation won't even make it 6 months. I don't think it'll go 6 months. They will get back together again. You know, they got to do that on soaps. But anyway, let's go to comment corner. Lisa says, Adam is crazy to listen to what Sharon is saying. It doesn't even make sense. Who cares if people think you can't do it on your own? You are still the owner of the company. You would have made a good decision by hiring Adam. And you would not need the backing of the Newman Enterprises help to fix the company. Victoria will be fully in charge of Newman Enterprises when Victor is not there, and she will have no problem ousting Adam and Sharon out of the company. I wish Adam would have built his own company from the ground up. He is capable of doing it and making it successful. Yes, Lisa, he is. But for some reason, Adam has never had the confidence in doing so, in starting something all on his own. He never has. And I don't know why. Adam has money, but he doesn't have as much money as Nicholas, Abby, and Victoria from that lawsuit that they won against Victor. I don't think Adam was a part of that settlement. So Sharon would have to have really tried to turn that company around on her own. And where would the influx of capital come from? You know, the banks would only give her so much. She's brand new. The company was failing. The valuation would be too low. They actually would have to have gotten some kind of private loan from Victor, which would have been doable, right? But then Victor's subject to call the loan in against you at any time. He doesn't play fair with that. So I don't know. Right now, their best bet is with Victor. She would have had to have grown that company slower, but guess what? No, I take that back. Nick would have had the money to give her the capital influx, just like he gave Phyllis $32 million for the Grand Phoenix. Nick could throw down some cash to help Sharon turn that company around, and it could have been Sharon and Nick and Adam still, right? And then without Victor. Yeah. And then Lisa says, to be fair, to be fair to Michael, Diane did not have an attorney when she was taken to jail. Jack looked for an attorney for days. And then Michael finally agreed to take the case. Even after that, there was a lot of evidence stacked against Diane. Phyllis, on the other hand, had an eyewitness right there to confess to what, to confess. So it was easy for Heather to get her out on bail. Diane did not have that. And then Brooklyn says, hi, RCL. And when I first read this, I'm like, hi, RCL. And then I thought, okay, maybe she, daily recap. Oh, okay. So I get, you cut it down, Brooklyn, to recap, lady. Took me a minute, but I figured it out. It would be awesome if Nick rewarded when Sharon, Adam, and Nick turned both companies successful. Oh, that Victor gives Nick the CEO position, what, of Newman? It would be a great flip of the script. This time, I made sure I didn't say IMO like the last time. Sorry. Thank you, Brooklyn. You know what? Victoria's going to get hers. Victor's going to do, he's not happy. He's watching her with a fine-tooth comb. And I think we're going to finally see a big, big, big spanking, hand spank down on Victoria. And I can't wait. Annette says, Summer and Audra both PG. Guess who's the daddy? Oh, you mean both of them are pregnant? Guess who's the daddy? Wait until Grandpa Victor hears about Kyle and Audra bundle um, of OH. OH worries me in 9 months. I don't understand the OH. But here's the thing. Now that we really start to look at a timeline, Summer and Kyle have not slept together since Phyllis allegedly faked her death. It's been months now. So Summer would really know she's pregnant now if she was, because it's been too many months that have gone by. Because after she was too depressed and grieving, needed time, because she thought Diane did it. She didn't want to really have nothing to do with Kyle. And then once Phyllis contacted her, she moved to another room because she didn't want to be that close to Kyle and lie to his face. So they haven't been together. And then Annette says, Pretty Lady Summers' face is struck between scared and surprised. Who's taking care of little Harrison? And why isn't Miss Martinez making cookies? LaShanta said, no respect. Summer just leave. The coward Audra always leaves. Audra's famous for saying a little cut down and turning her back and walking away before you can say anything to her. Yep, she is. I can't wait till Kyle gets his, even though you said hers. I was laughing, Phyllis, a shame. I know she was sitting there like, oh my God, people are looking at me. Oh no, just stop it, Phyllis. You know you don't care. Daniel's already wheels returning. Why Tucker's bothering Phyllis? He knows her deal. How is she going to get Jack and Kyle to forgive her? I don't see why the company is merging. It can't be like Devon and Lily. Why Victor lets her get away with everything while he chastises Adam. Victor will demote her. Watch Vicky is going to be jealous of Sharon. Victoria will overtip her hand. And then Dito's Bug says, oh, I wish I would have been Summer's double for this show. It would have given me a great pleasure to slap Kyle. Formation point, okay? I know it wouldn't have done any good, but it would have felt good. I know. I'm happy she turned and slapped him senseless like she did too, because you want to know what he did? All Kyle did was look stupid. Kyle is just reacting. One thing I didn't mention, Billy talked to Kyle, and he said, Jack is upset about you taking this job, which we knew. They just haven't shown. Jack is Peter Bergman. Is he okay? Is he having a little health thing? Because you notice he's not on the scene. Jack's joined to Diane like at the hip. If he's going out of town on business, I'm surprised he didn't take her. So anyway, he goes, yeah, Jack's upset. And Kyle's like, hey, not no slight against him. And so Billy says, no, look, if anybody understands leaving and going on your own path, it's me. You know, I understand that. He says, you know, he was just kind of trying to feel where he was. And he said, you know, are you sure that you can't make things right or work with Summer? You sure you can't forgive her? And Kyle was like, no. She's hurt me too much. No, she did this. So Billy's like, okay, you know, yeah, I'm sure you've thought about everything. I look, I'm not here to judge. And so Billy says, he had to go. So he's walking out and Audra's walking back in to talk to Kyle again. It's like, do you? Oh, because Kyle had a meeting scheduled and the person canceled. And I'm like, does anybody ever have meetings in their office at all? So Audra walks in, I thought you had a meeting. He goes, I did, but they canceled. And so she said something to him, and then Kyle's like, why don't we go upstairs? And you know what? I think I fast forwarded. I don't even know if she said yes or no, because you guys have business, you got work to do, right? But you know what Audra has seen? Audra has seen Nate and Victoria going upstairs during work hours every day. So it's no thing. That's just like the regular atmosphere at Newman. So she would think nothing of, okay, let's go up for a quickie and then we'll get back to work, right? So I don't know. I'm not interested in menial stuff like that. But that's it. I'll be back on a Monday with another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.